Sitting on the 65th floor of my glass office in Midtown Manhattan, I thought I had left the petty cruelty of my past behind until my phone lit up with a text that made my blood run cold. My stepmother had just sent a message informing me that after a discussion with my father, I was officially banned from set foot in the prestigious Harborview Country Club. She claimed my presence at the annual charity gala was an absolute disgrace to the family name, and that my exclusive membership was stripped away permanently. Looking out over the sprawling city skyline, I could only shake my head at the absolute nerve of a woman who had spent the last decade tearing my life apart. The embarrassing behavior she was referring to was simply me pulling back the curtain on the massive financial fraud running through their so-called non-profit organization. During the gala, I had presented clear evidence showing that less than 2% of their raised funds actually reached people in need, while the rest paid for their extravagant lives at the resort. My dedicated assistant, Arthur, walked into the office carrying my afternoon coffee and a stack of financial reports for the commercial banking division. When I asked him how long my father and his second wife had enjoyed their elite suite at the club, he immediately confirmed it had been over 15 years. That timeline hit me with a wave of bitter memories from when I was 17 years old and thrown out of that very same oceanfront suite. My stepmother had convinced my father that she needed the space for her executive wellness weekends, which were really just excuses for her country club friends to drink expensive wine and laugh at me. Another text message chimed on my desk warning me that security guards were on high alert, and that I should not risk trying to enter the property. She had no idea that just 90 days ago, my private investment firm had secretly purchased the entire corporate real estate portfolio that owned her beloved resort. I had deliberately kept the multi-million-dollar acquisition quiet, while restructuring the internal operations and modernizing the corporate hierarchy from behind closed doors. Not a single employee at the resort had any idea that their biweekly paychecks were now originating directly from my holding accounts. While I had originally intended to announce my ownership at the upcoming regional board meeting, this insulting text message changed my timeline completely. I ordered Arthur to open the central management dashboard on my computer screen and establish a live security camera feed from the resort main compound so I could see what was happening in real time. Within seconds, multiple high-definition screens lit up across my office wall, showing my father and stepmother relaxing side by side in the luxury spa suite. She was casually sipping visual champagne while complaining to the staff about disrespectful stepdaughters who never learned how to accept their place in high society. Arthur pulled up their real-time billing ledger and noted that they were charging thousands of dollars worth of premium treatments directly to their elite membership card. A calm smile spread across my face as I placed my hands over the keyboard and decided it was time to teach them a lesson in accountability. Arthur asked if he should draft the standard press release regarding executive changes, but I told him that this particular situation required a personal touch. I navigated directly to the administrative panel on my screen where a bold prompt asked me to confirm the instant revocation of member access privileges. I thought about every single family holiday I was banished from, every cold glance, and every time she insisted I would never amount to anything despite my graduate degrees and successful career. The ultimate breaking point was knowing they were stealing money meant for underprivileged college students, just to fund their empty luxury lifestyle. With a single keystroke, I broadcast an instant systemic override across every security computer terminal, across the entire resort property network. The notification clearly stated that effective immediately, all access rights and privileges assigned to the entire family branch were permanently canceled without exception. On the live video feed, I watched the exact moment the digital lock on her private room flashed red and her wristband failed to process payment. Her personal masseuse picked up a digital tablet, politely informed her that the primary account was suspended, and immediately stopped the service right in the middle of the session. In the adjoining room, my father was thrown into a panic when his own session came to a sudden halt and his balance request was flatly denied. He furiously grabbed his phone to call upper management, so I had Arthur patch the incoming call directly into my private office line. When he demanded to know why his platinum account was showing errors, I calmly greeted him and explained that his access had not experienced a glitch but was revoked forever. He gasped when he realized he was speaking to the very daughter he had banned from the property just 60 minutes earlier. I revealed that my firm had purchased the entire property empire months ago, meaning I now owned the resort, the marina, and all 18 surrounding golf courses. The sudden silence on the phone was deafening as they both began desperately scrolling through their phones to read the breaking news headlines announcing my new role as chief executive. My stepmother grabbed the phone and began screaming about legal contracts, but I cited the specific fraud clause in their original agreement that allowed immediate termination for unethical conduct. When my father tried to negotiate a peaceful resolution over dinner, I casually informed him that their former suite was already donated to a real charity. I explained that the room was being repurposed into a fully funded residence hall for deserving scholarship students visiting the campus for academic competitions. Through the monitor, I watched her collapse into a decorative chair as security personnel arrived to supervise the complete removal of their personal belongings within the hour. I reminded them that all their unearned possessions were being packed up and donated to the exact local women's shelter they had refused to support the previous month. They were given 60 minutes to leave the property before local authorities were called to remove them for unlawful trespassing on private grounds. When my father claimed the board of directors would put a stop to my actions, I informed him that the new board was currently meeting in my main conference room. They were actively reviewing 15 years of falsified tax records and preparing a formal submission for federal regulatory investigators to examine. The security camera watched as both of them were quietly escorted through the grand lobby in their branded robes, while other prominent members recorded the entire fall from grace. Arthur confirmed that their privileges across all affiliated country clubs, beach resorts, and private dining halls were stripped away across the nation. For weeks later, I sat inside the newly renovated suite, which had been completely transformed into a vibrant modern academic center for ambitious young adults. The tacky gold decorations and expensive bar were completely gone, replaced by collaborative workspaces, high-end computer stations, and walls filled with student achievements. My phone alerted me to a major news publication confirming that their foundation was officially under federal investigation for systematic financial crimes. My father showed up in the lobby looking worn out and defeated, so I allowed him to come up to see the massive transformation for himself. He stood in total shock as he looked around at the bright, productive environment that had once been his private playground of unearned luxury and arrogance. I handed him 5 detailed student folders containing the stories of hardworking young people who were receiving full college grants from our newly managed program. When he accused me of destroying the family name, I corrected him by stating I was building a real legacy focused on helping others instead of exploiting them. I gave him a choice between facing complete financial ruin through long legal battles or signing over total control of the remaining assets to an independent board. He quietly took out a pen and signed every single document, finally recognizing that his years of looking down on me had brought him to this exact moment. As he turned to leave, I reminded him to send my regards to his wife and let her know her new basic membership meant she was no longer allowed near the private lounge. I turned back to my desk, filled with a deep sense of satisfaction knowing that true power comes from lifting others up rather than tearing them down. Sometimes justice takes time to arrive, but when it finally hits, it creates a brand new path forward for everyone involved. If you enjoyed this powerful story of justice and transformation, please hit the subscribe button right now to support the channel. Make sure to click on the video showing on your screen right now to watch another incredible real-life story of instant karma.